Get ready to quit the build. The QTB crew is rounding up all the gaming news and hot topics of the week with a little extra something. And here are your hosts, Bruno, Brad, and Nick.
What it do? You are listening to the QTB podcast. I'm your host, Bruno, and with me we have Nick and a special guest tonight as Brad is off. It's Enzo. That's right. Let's get him in here with a proper cheer. Woo!
Yes. How you doing,
what is
Enzo?
going on?
Overworked, tired, and happy to be here all at the same time.
Aren't we all?
It's
right?
a mixed emotions. Hey, listen, I went to the gas station the other day, and they have this stuff called Res Gum, and I was like, nah, this stuff I've never bought. This stuff doesn't work. I just bought it. Each piece of gum is supposed to be 2 shots of espresso.
Ooh,
it works. I never had a piece of gum do that.
nice.
We want to know what's in that gum.
Science.
Hopes and
Obviously. Yeah.
Woo!
Amazing. Exactly. It's Ric Flair gum. That's what they should call it. Just call it Rick instead of Rez.
Gum.
Yeah. Woo.
I like that.
There you go. Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you. Well, Bruno, it is another exciting episode here of the QTB podcast. And we had very good timing here bringing on Enzo as a guest because Enzo is mad. His amazing Twitch and TikTok streaming channels are our latest addition to the QTB network. He is an official streaming partner for Quit the Build. Air horns are appropriate. You know, the crowd goes nuts. The kids love it because, I mean, it's amazing stuff. I mean, Enzo, you initially were and still are part of the QTB network with your wrestling podcast, of course, Double DQ. But now you're on the streaming side. You got that snazzy new logo, right? That happy logo. It's like a squid, right? Got a little squid thing going on there?
Cephalopod.
Oh, a cephalopod.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
It's a running joke. If you know, you know. So
Oh, okay.
And you got to be in the know. See, that's what building a community is all about. It's those inside jokes. The inside jokes, the Martinsburg earth ploppers, if you will.
Of course.
You know?
The Humpkin Spring Leaf of inside
Yes,
jokes. Yeah, definitely.
exactly.
That one T-shirt in the shop and everyone's like, what is that? What
is that? Who are they? That's a very specific episode that we haven't heard.
Yeah.
Dig deep.
I Googled earth ploppers and I'm not happy with what I saw.
safe search was not
Apparently,
on.
the dung beetle is the number one earth plopper. I'm like, wow.
The top one. That's it. Oh, man. Well, speaking of plops, guys, we have got some people plopping into foam pits. We're going to be talking about here in a little while because very interesting news week. You know, I'll tell you, anytime that NBC News or any like mainstream news source is reporting on something that's gaming related, you know, it really made headlines because it got past
or YouTube related. Yeah, anything like that. Anytime where, you know, Seth Rogen is looped in and he has to ask the internet who a Try Guy is, you know that you've made mainstream news. And this is no different. Not the good type of news that you want to be making, right? This is another one of those, oh boy. Here we go.
They say all press is good press, but I'm depressed after I'm hearing this story that came from the TwitchCon. So, you know, and these cons, it never works out well. And also, we're going to be talking about it just doesn't anymore.
In general, all of them.
Yeah, when phone cameras are always on, like you just get so much more drama these days. And so also we're going to be talking about the Meta Connect and the new hardware and games that were announced for that. But Enzo, what we like to usually lead these shows with before we get into the news is a little bit of what you've been playing. So I'll hand it over to you, Enzo. What games have you been playing this week on streams and beyond, and what's going on with you?
So to start it off, we do a couple of different things. The first is the community games. We try to do a couple community games throughout the week. Sometimes it's with like the close-knit group. Sometimes it's with the broader group. Like we'll play Goose Goose Duck or Among Us or something. But we've been playing Raft a lot. And it became very apparent very fast that I'm the guy that builds everything that nobody wants. And that is who I am, probably in real life and in Raft. But I just recently built a toilet on top of a toilet with a bathtub on top of that. And it's an eyesore and I love it. And no one,
It's a reverse bidet.
It's, well,
Reverse bidet.
And inside the bathtub area, it says you are now soup. So, just it makes me feel good. Don't care what anyone else thinks. It makes me feel good.
It's a lifelong dream of mine to become soup.
One day we will. We all become soup one day. It's a very philosophical thing, really.
True.
It's very retrospective.
I don't think we should talk about this anymore. Some primordial supers. I don't know. Let's. Anyways, I am also doing right now on stream. I am playing through Little Nightmares 2 because it was on sale.
Ooh.
And Little Nightmares 1 was psychological to the point where it tried to push the boundaries a little bit in here, but Little Nightmares 2 offends me. And how scary that game actually can be.
Okay.
I find you offensive, sir.
They really pushed the boundaries on that one. And something that people like to do to me is they like to send alerts to scare the living bejesus out of me. Yeah.
That's how they get you. You're tensed up. You're waiting for the jump scare.
It's not as scary as Tim Allen, but that's a whole other level of scary.
You put that man on tool time, and it's just someone's getting hurt. That's all. Yeah, that's all we know.
As long as you have your +1 Bob Vila, you'll be fine.
You're Hal Borland.
I guess he was in charge of the foam pit at Twitch, and see, that's the problem.
Not Binford. No, Binford was not a part of it.
Yeah.
How many more Tool Time references you want to do?
I don't
know about Tool Time, but we're getting people in chat there, Enzo, that are asking if Nicolas Cage is going to be making an appearance here on the podcast. I do think we have to. It is a thing. There he is. He's really become a staple kind of co-host for your live streams. Look at that.
I need a Cage soundboard thing now. Like that.
I made this. Bruno,
you should be so proud of yourself.
And I gotta say, he is dripping right now, dripping with swag. Okay,
24 karat Cage.
That is a gold chain. He's got the hookup. Holler if you hear me. Okay.
What? Nice. Okay, so on my end, what I've been playing, honestly, a lot of stuff on stream, obviously, more Fall Guys. We have been branching out into other games. This week we did some Power Wash Simulator. A lot of people really like to just watch you zen out and clean things. They're not even video games anymore. They just want the ASMR factor, I guess.
Well, I mean, hey, Nick, if we can get Farming Simulator and Euro Truck, whatever, I mean,
I'm waiting on Simulator. It's gonna happen.
I can't fathom what that is. It's like Inception. I don't know, but I think Christopher Nolan needs to lead that. I'm ready for it.
Will the top stop spinning? You'll find out soon. Just by the DLC.
You know what? You know what? You want to hear something?
What do you got?
I got it. I had it.
You got something for everything. He had it.
Yeah. See?
Whoa.
See?
That's terrifying.
That's
terrifying.
That might have been one of them. That might have been one of the alerts. You know what I mean?
That would be a good alert. That'd be a room clearer for you, Enzo. Definitely. The Inception sound plays.
I mean, that sound when I play Power Wash Simulator, that sound is whenever I realize that there's a 99% left on or 99% on something and I can't find it. Like I'll go around every corner, every base, everything, and it takes me 15 minutes to find one thing. So it's zen until the 99%. That's it for me.
Right.
That's the way it is in driving games too. It's like you found all the roads except for one, and you're this little snippet of a road that you haven't gone down. And you're like, okay. I power slid past that. I Tokyo drifted, right?
It's the worst part of every Worst part of every Horizon game is trying to figure out where that little road is. Yeah, we've all been there. What in the world? This is why Enzo, we need to set a limiter. Like a maximum of one sound for 10 seconds.
You let him go and things will happen. You got to put a restraint on this stuff.
It's part of our charm.
A checks and balance system wouldn't be terrible.
We'd add some bureaucracy to these sounds.
To go through approval first. Our producers are giving me the eye from the side of the room, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what?
Yeah, the producers do chime in when we need to keep things moving. But yeah, aside from that, I've been playing. We did some Fortnite. We did our first ever community Fortnite stream. That was a collaboration with a Kung Fu Penguin, aka Joel from the QTB network. A lot of fun. We got to play some custom maps there with his supported creator code, and yeah, just a lot of community-minded gameplay happening on our TikTok lives and beyond, and of course, community right here on the podcast. All these amazing people in chat right now, like Talia Harris, who's saying you should just do The Sims. It's the best simulator. I mean, it's in the name.
It is.
Talia's been asking me to do The Sims for a while, and I want to figure out a good way to integrate it in the community, and I don't have it yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's
well,
there's got to be a way.
Your imagination with the toilet throne, the toilet soup thing is enough for you to get started. You're going to create a toilet mansion, obviously, where there is no place to sit. Everyone sits around in toilets. Right? Okay. Why even get chairs? All toilets. Okay. That's what we want to see.
Love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, there we go. That's done.
I mean, yeah, you got Sims creators that like they've made hundreds of episodes of like challenges and all that kind of thing. So yeah, you can. There's something there for you.
They say don't poop where you eat, but not in Enzo's house. He's gonna have toilets everywhere.
No choice. Have you seen the kitchen?
Have you seen it? Beds are replaced by tubs.
Instead of wallpaper, can I just line every corner with refrigerators? Like
yes,
all the way around.
It's all appliances.
It's got to be a glass house too. Okay, so everyone can see what's going on. There is no walls in this house other than glass. Okay?
So I'm basically making a Lowe's. Like it's not even a house anymore. It's just a Home Depot.
It's just a Lowe's. It's just the bathroom section of any
Enzo's
Home
Appliance
Depot.
Emporium and warehouse.
There it is.
I love it. Now,
you see,
now I want to play Sims.
We've already established it's going free to play. Sims 4 is the base game is going free to play, so there is an opportunity there to kind of hop in and experience it and cross a multi-platform game right now. I mean, The Sims 4 has been out for so long, it's kind of overdue for them to actually do that. But yeah, that's what I had going on. Bruno, what's been up with you this week, man?
I have been just waiting for the new Forza Horizon update, which just came out today, actually. Haven't had a chance to get on there, but they had a massive, 10-year anniversary update, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Which is, pretty crazy, or is it 15? I don't know. There's an
Maybe
anniversary.
10 for Horizon.
I think it's 10 for Horizon.
Yeah.
Forza's been out Forza Motorsport's been out a little bit longer than that, but for Horizon, to make it, this far and just have a really good, solid game and a solid update at that. Like tons of new stuff added, new cars, new story missions and whatnot, as well as new rims for the car and a new midnight battles, which is supposed to be like a new street racing type of add-on that they've recently littered the map with. Those types of things, I think, really make a great update when you've got something like this. It's something that I think no one was really expecting. It's, Forza Horizon's been out for about a year or so now, and where everyone just kind of waits for the new stuff, right? But I have been really enjoying the open world aspect of Forza Horizon. If you've never played, because I know there's some people out there that are probably on the PlayStation bandwagon or PC, may have never tried any of the Forza games, but Forza Motorsport is more like Gran Turismo, and Forza Horizon is just this open world racing game where you can basically drive wherever you want, drive whatever type of car you want, soup it up how you want, and then you basically can turn a Ferrari into a rally car or a drift car if you wanted to. It's pretty incredible what you can do in the game. So, I think there's something special about the series, and it's great to see it get an anniversary update, especially one with pretty good content in there. So
yeah,
definitely check that out. That's something that I will be doing later this evening, of course.
Okay.
But Nick,
yeah,
I am ready to get into it.
Video game news. I mean, we're gonna make it happen, man. But of course, first
we need to do it.
We got to do it.
You got to do it. Are you ready?
I'll tell you, it's spooky. It's spooky season, guys.
Okay.
It's spooky season. But the only thing scarier than spooky season is the spooky collection that is currently available on the Winner Live Arcade. Wow. That's how you sell products. There we go. Get into the spooky spirit and collect all 8 of the frightfully fun prizes in this limited time collection. You're going to score a free $50 Fandango gift card for the ultimate scary movie night. And here's the deal that's so good it's scary, guys. Your first win is free when you download with our link. The link is right now in the description for this YouTube episode, so feel free to check that out. And also, if you use promo code DALE when recharging your tokens at pay.app.winnerwinner.com, you're going to get a sweet deal. He's going to give you 30% free bonus tokens on your next purchase. The link is in the description of this episode. Thanks so much to our friends over at Winner. There you go. All right, so we were talking about foam pits, okay? Yeah, and this is where the fun music starts, or stops rather, because this is going to get a little bit crazy. You know, I had mentioned before. Yeah, and I mean, if someone had a soundboard at this event, I think this is what you would have heard because it's honestly twitching. Yeah, they were, and I mean, it's and obviously we don't want to poke too much fun at injuries, but You really have to wonder what Twitch was thinking when they did this. So this story, like I said before, it's coming from NBCnews.com, which is never a good sign for anything in the gaming industry because it means that it's the story has made it past IGN, it's made it past Kotaku, and now Grandma Ethel is hearing about this on the 7 p.m. news at her local NBC News affiliate. Yeah, exactly. And so essentially, here's what happened: TwitchCon has occurred. During TwitchCon, they had this giant, what they called a foam pit exhibit. It was essentially this big wide space that had all of these little, foam bits. Essentially, that was something that you would presume you could dive into. There was even 2 pedestals.
Or at least fall safely into.
Correct. There were 2 circular pedestals that were in the center of this foam pit. And they even there's reports that the staff was encouraging people to go and, fall in the foam pit and record some content with this thing, right? It was meant to be used. That's why it was there. And it did get used to the point of major injury because social media, or rather a streamer, Adriana Chechik, tweeted that she broke her back in 2 places when she jumped off the exhibit's platform. And they say into the foam cubes, but really through the very thin layer of foam cubes onto the concrete surface that was below. And again, one other injury was reported. So apparently it was run by both Lenovo and Intel, this exhibit. They invited attendees to battle one another by standing on one of the 2 platforms suspended over the foam pit. It's almost like an American Gladiators. Yeah. Exactly. Who's your favorite American Gladiator, Enzo?
Nitro.
Good answer.
Nitro, yeah,
he was ready.
Baby.
I knew he'd have an answer. Well, if you would have seen Nitro on the other platform there, you would have been in trouble because it's going to be you would have. You would have. I would have noped right out of there.
Thanks for being my childhood.
They were all roided up, my friend. I don't know if I think it was like a tell-all book that was written about that show, and it's
now
just
shoot me with a tennis ball. I'll love it.
Too funny. But I mean, Bruno, looking at this, obviously it's really bad press. And, the whole idea of a convention is good press. And it seems like Twitch lately has been in the news catching a lot of flack for their policies, for controversies that have occurred on the platform with people doing controversial things on camera and only getting a minor slap on the wrist, if at all. And now the biggest event for Twitch of the year, this is all that people are talking about is this major injury, life-changing injury for somebody, because I don't care what kind of surgery you get done. Once the back is broken, I mean, it's going to be, a very nasty lawsuit and a very difficult, transition for this streamer. What's your take on this? I mean, I guess my question to you is, what were they thinking? Can you figure that out for me?
They weren't thinking, Nick, obviously. That is the very obvious answer there. But, I think a lot of things get, from a marketing perspective, a lot of things get thrown around, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have foam pit? What do we think is needed for that? And it just kind of gets floated by an internal team of marketers or an internal team of event marketers, right? Where they're trying to put on something interesting for you to come and see their booth. I would say that typically speaking, this is something that the higher ups would nix if it weren't an internal, something we did for the company, because you do open yourself up to lawsuits, right?
Right.
And as far as Adriana goes, I know she's known for her adult film career as well, and like you said, that's something that you thought you might see with her headline in there of maybe something like that, but she has been a great streamer. And that's why they led with that. And I think it's important not to make fun of her despite, any type of career or anything like that. It's just not right to make fun of somebody who's gotten hurt and injured. And low hanging fruit, right? We're going to skip past low hanging fruit of making fun of somebody's career or somebody's injury in this case, and just say that it is really tragic, because it turns the tides of having a really fun day. And you could tell that she was having a great time. And this was just kind of like, hey, because you can see the video of it. And, her jumping off and kind of doing like a, cheerleader, toe touch thing, and then just going into the pit. She didn't have that much height. There wasn't that much, like jumping from that. And there was no support whatsoever from the foam pit, which makes you wonder, had somebody actually fallen in there, maybe head first, what could have happened? Right. So I'm interested to see what becomes of this, because I feel like a lawsuit or litigation for at least the surgery is in place here. I don't think there was any waiver of anything signed before you got into this. It sounds like it was just like an open trade booth that they were just like, yeah, come on over and, get some cool video there with our logo and stuff in the background. And no one thought, hey, somebody might actually get hurt here. And I think the worst part of it was in the video where, you've got the announcer that's like, oh, she's all right. She's all right. And like, she's clearly not all right. Like she's like waving and like on, like she's like trying to roll over, can't get out of this pit, and is clearly in pain. Yeah. It was hard to watch. And especially with, them trying to like blow it over and be like, it's no big deal. And so what do you think about this? Is there something that could have been done on their part, or do you think that this was just a doomed thing from the start to try and have something like this at a creator event?
I think that it was something that they foresaw happening, and the reason why I say that is the Washington Post reported that Lenovo had actually had participants sign waivers acknowledging the possibility of physical harm, or damages to their property.
So there you go. Well, then that's a big thing, right? Because I had just said that it's unlikely that there would be a waiver, but they covered their butts in that way. So let's rephrase. Do you think that can hold up, or do you think that negligence might be a part of this?
I think the thing that needs to be a certain expectation of safety. If you make I can make someone sign a waiver for anything, but it doesn't give permission to make sure that is as unsafe as humanly possible. A normal foam pit is all sided, padded on the top area, and then it is deep with a trampoline pad below that. And then maybe even some more foam underneath that as an extra cushion. Having it be one layer, maybe two if they're stacked on top of each other, with a thin mat and then concrete. I mean, physics. They exist.
Right?
And
physics.
For someone to get a rod put in their back and broken in two places from an event like that. And again, like you said, she didn't jump incredibly high. She did a cheerleader toe touch and kind of bonsai dropped like Yokozuna style. back in the day, boom. But then you see this little bounce, but there's no, like, it's all absorbed when she lands. It's
you
all
can see
absorbed.
it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I think that is bad, but also if you listen to the announcer saying things like, "Oh, she's okay. No, don't worry about her,"
Immediately
and then saying,
and
then saying she lives in the pit now, man.
That's gonna age like milk. Oh man, that's
so.
Yikes.
As far as the legality is concerned, knowing how it was set up, looking at how it was set up, and knowing how it was supposed to be set up, two sides of the story too. You hear that they're encouraging play, they were encouraging jumping around, they were encouraging that, but then the waiver saying, "Hey, don't do that because you could get hurt." It's gonna be a battle back and forth, but I think that
I don't think this story's over.
I think she's gonna get damages for sure.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be the surgery or whatever. Like, there's going to be, this is going to be like I said, a lifelong injury that's going to have to be, the fallout from it. And again, there's so much negative press.
We won't know how
it'll
much
be an
either.
Undisclosed amount.
It will be undisclosed because they'll settle out of court. That's exactly how this is going to go because Twitch wants this to go away as fast as possible. And actually, they reached out to Twitch and they said,
I was going to say,
talk to Lenovo.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I would imagine Twitch would put this on, whoever came up with the foam pit idea. And that's unfortunate because, shifting the blame, you should, if you're the event host of anything, you kind of should know what's going on in your event, what's happening, and what, fans should expect if it's something dangerous. They had to get a sign off, right? We're going to do this. We need X amount of space to do this or whatever. And so it just seemed like it was one of those things that got floated around a marketing, marketing room and just never really came out, well. It just kind of, they didn't really think everything through. Now, here's the interesting thing. Twitch has been in this, and I mentioned it before, where we've had a lot of these creators, especially, in the adult film industry, come over and, or vice versa, go over to the, like something like OnlyFans or whatever. And we keep seeing them tiptoe the line of what they can get away with in Twitch. Yeah. And it's really unnecessary. I think there are a lot of other platforms where you can do that. And that's one of the things where, I think something like, and I'm not going to mention specific names on Twitch, but the ones that creep up every few months where something has come up and where, they've been banned. They've been banned for, I don't know. What is it, like 3 days, something like that? It's never minor. Long. It's never long, and it's never enough because obviously they keep doing it. And so that's where we're at with Twitch. We're at this thing where they're willing to police small infractions and get people off of the platform like that. But if you bring in the bucks with boobs, butts, or whatever, it doesn't matter. They're going to make sure that you have a mainstay on Twitch because of the pool that you have, and so I think all of these types of things kind of have been compounding into a bad look on Twitch. We've said this before where a lot of content creators are moving away from the platform. It's hard to get seen in terms of streaming there, and especially when you've got other options out there like YouTube, even Instagram. Nick, what do you think in terms of Twitch's, PR right now? It's not good. How can they bounce back from this, or what do we really expect moving forward to see anything different from Twitch?
Yeah, well, to your first point, it is a big problem, Bruno, because every time you turn that app on or that website on, one of the top 5 streamers that are always on display is someone that is doing exactly what you're describing.
Yeah.
And this streamer actually that broke her back was known for that type of content. And it's a problem because you're trying to sell yourself as like this, brand yourself as this, platform where people can come together, and the age demographic of gamers, even though they have the just chatting category. Like Twitch is always going to be associated with video games. And so to have that kind of content as something that is being actively pushed, I think is a huge concern. And I think you're right that money is king. And as long as they're getting their cut, they're going to find ways to turn what should be instant bans into, this never ending game of cat and mouse. Like, oh, we're going to change this one rule, and now that streamer is going to change the way that they present themselves so that they're technically in compliance, but still, it's a never ending cycle, unfortunately.
And I'll make a point, to Adriana, and there's tons of streamers out there that I would say toe that line, right? Of like, showing cleavage or, wearing something skimpy. But, when you're consistently in the news for breaking the rules, that's different. That's different than towing the line and saying, okay, well, we see you like one step further and, you're going to be versus like, actively breaking the rules, actively being banned multiple times with no 3 strikes, you're out. It happens and it happens across all platforms, right? I would say less Instagram, but more YouTube and stuff like that, where if you're big, you can get away with breaking the rules. That's the way it was for a long time with YouTube. Bigger YouTubers could use licensed music without anyone batting an eye. But if you were up and comer on YouTube and you happened to use a song or even part of a song, then you immediately got striked. And it's like, well, how does my audio get removed, but this video doesn't, right? Like that's what sucks, is that the community sees, well, this person gets banned for this. They're my favorite streamer because they said a naughty word. This person gets banned because they are flashing the entire community, showing the goods, and, they get banned multiple times because of it. It's we've heard it from our community before. It's hard for people to trust a platform and say, sure, kids, go on there and find a streamer, find a gamer to follow, because you just don't know what they're gonna do or what they're stumbling upon. So I don't know if this is going. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to change. Do you?
No, it's not going to change. I mean, it's again, as long as they are making the revenue, that's how these things go. But I mean, the thing is, like, other platforms right now just have their own challenges. It's just that Twitch is one of the few that you can just hop on and start live streaming with very few barriers to entry or cost to get started. Yeah. I mean, both. We have multiple TikTokers here on the podcast, right? And so that, I mean, there are other ways of getting out there, but platforms like TikTok can make it very difficult to toe that line. And if anything, they over moderate as opposed to the selective moderation of other platforms, right? You've seen you pretty much run the gambit.
Don't say guns on TikTok. Say pew pew.
Exactly.
Don't say dead or die. Say unalive. By the way, Twitch's ASMR section is the Wild West. It is like
it's real crazy.
It is like, first off, it's on the front page. Whenever I go to Twitch, it's just like, hey, do you want to see softcore P word that's like totally acceptable? Here it is. It's like, what? Like, why is this happening? You're in a hot tub, lady.
Patricia.
It's so insane. I don't think I got that reference, but I'll leave it alone.
I don't know if it was a reference. It was just,
that's just
I don't know.
With.
I just imagine some deep-voiced lady person on there who's like, hello, my name is Patricia.
Yeah. That's all they do, right? Let me just get way too close and clip out this condenser mic with my
Listen,
my voice.
I am one.
Here's some things for your ear holes.
I am Twitch. Yeah, right. No, but that's not even a lie. That's not even. Yeah. Let me spit paint the screen for you. So what's going on here?
Yeah.
So really what we've come to realize is that gamers are simps, and if you want to sell your bath water or your tears, like you can sell those too. You know, it's never excuse me for hitting my mic here. It's never something good, right? Like it's never something good we're seeing in Twitch. Like, you know, Twitch is rolling out a new program that helps this or does this to mitigate that. It's always controversy.
They take from you.
Yeah, I guess you could say, you know,
be grateful we're here for you and you can stream on our platform. Like it's
pretty much. I want to say though, you know, but see, this is the thing that really sucks. They're so slow to, you know, to ban somebody that's, you know, showing some skin, right? But they're so quick to take down all the pay-per-view UFC fights that I'm trying to watch, you know, on a Friday or Saturday night.
I know.
By the way, I gotta say, shout out to the OGs out there who actually make it look like they're playing the game.
They said it as Madden 21.
Godsend to do that. All you gotta do is act like you're playing. Oh man, look at
he's in the clear.
He's in
the graphics
glow.
these days. You know, it's never mind that John Madden is a coach on the sidelines. It's totally real football.
He looks
real
good.
Sports.
He looks good for being dead.
Well, I'll tell you what else is real, and that is our amazing supporters on Patreon. Thank you, as always, to our QTB and Fuego supporters, Epic Capture Productions, Matt.Bat, and Alexa, and our QTB Plus supporters, Nick, the Dudist Monk, Indie Gamiacs, Alan Abadessa, Mr. Grove Games, The Intergalactic Pinecone, Fluffy Bunny, and Kawaii Potato. And you too out there on Internet Land, you can support us for as little as $2 per month at patreon.com/quitthebuild. Your subscription is going to give you access to our QTB Nostalgia Vault, a monthly deep dive into the games, movies, TV, and pop culture of the 80s, 90s, and beyond. Having a lot of fun. This month we're going to be talking about Guitar Hero versus Rock Band. CR is doing something on camera with what appears to be a rainbow avocado, and it's freaking me out.
Totoro.
Oh, is it Totoro? I didn't know. It looked like an avocado.
How dare you? How dare you?
Oh, I just offended a lot of people. But of course, our $5 tier and up to get access to our exclusive merch and more. Thank you so much for supporting us right there.
Jesus.
Oh, it's okay.
And Deadpool. There you go. I mean, honestly, Bruno, you're supposed to be like
things next to me.
We always say that Bruno's like the one and only prop comedian of podcasting, but Enzo, you could give him a run for his money.
Definitely.
I got stuff. I got stuff around me.
Wow. Okay, well, on that note, let's go into the wonderful world of virtual reality, guys, because our next story coming from tomsguide.com, talking about the Meta Connect 2022 that happened today. Of course, a very common thing now for individual publishers, hardware creators, you name it, to have their own individual like announcement platforms rather than waiting for non-existent events, right? You know, like E3. And Meta is no exception to that. They did unveil a whole lot during their press conference that happened today. And in that presentation, I'll kind of hop into the first big thing right before we get into the individual games is the hardware that was announced, because there is some major sticker shock associated with this puppy. And I'm talking about the Meta Quest Pro that was unveiled. And one thing that they wanted to make very clear is that the Meta Quest Pro is not intended to be the successor to the Meta Quest 2. It does borrow elements from that model. It's aimed as more of a professional style thing, like meant for a work environment, as opposed to just for gaming or for relaxing, hanging out, that kind of thing. Because this thing has a price tag of $1,500. A lot of early speculation saying it could be one of the greatest VR headsets ever created. I would hope so, because as much of a pivot that Meta has had into the metaverse, so much that they rebranded the whole freaking company, that you would hope that their next offering would be in that direction. But I mean, Bruno, does this price tag, when ultimately what we're getting is they said like a curved battery, a thinner screen, so there's less front-loaded weight on your face. They said about 35% more pixel density, more contrast, that kind of thing. Do you really think that there is a justification for any workplace, or even for maybe a diehard VR fan that thinks that this would be a good personal device for them? is this thing gonna sell? What's going on here?
It's not going to sell as well as the 90s virtuality machines that were in the movie First Kid, littered across the, Washington, D.C. mall. But I do think there is a place for VR in the workplace. I really do. I think there's a lot of benefit there. My wife works for a company that produces head-mounted tablets, and there are a lot of benefits for those for people that work up on, let's say, like a wind turbine, right? And you've got to film kind of like what you're doing, or maybe you're not quite or sure how to fix something up there. Mm-hmm. You can essentially call into the, home base and be like, what do you got for me, Goose? And fix the problem remotely without having to climb down a huge wind turbine and then, drive back to so there are a lot of workplace usages for something like VR. I've already seen a lot of things where we've got doctors that are performing surgeries remotely with like robots and stuff like that. So I think that we're moving towards I don't think that Facebook is just out in left field here doing something crazy that's not going to net them a return on their investment. I would say that they know more than we do in terms of how the workplace is going to change. I think the pandemic has really started that shift in terms of working from home. Now, to your second point, do I think $1,500 is worth it for a consumer? No. Yeah. Enzo is shaking his head. No. The answer is no.
Looking at the camera deadpan. Oh my gosh.
There's not enough content to justify even a $500 VR headset, let alone something that's like, well, we've made it lighter and we've also improved the screen quality, and now it's gloss white instead of matte white. Like, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever changes you made to the physical apparatus weren't the issues. The issues were the content that came along with the game in terms of like gamers. A lot of these games are experiences. We've talked about that before, right? Where they make great content for like, content creators, or if you've got a group of people over and you're, partying and you're like, hey, step on this little, 2x4 and pretend you're walking out on the edge of a building, right? Like those are classic. But how often did you do that? You know what I mean? We saw the entire 10-minute clip right there, and they never played the VR again.
Right. Yeah. It's great for the Thanksgiving, family gathering, and then it's, okay, Carl broke the TV when he thought he was going to fall off a plank, so now we're done.
So Enzo, you let me know what you think, is a good price for a VR headset to start with, and then tell us your thoughts on the $1,500 Meta Quest 2.
Okay, so the functionality matters, right? The price, what's it geared toward? If you're talking about gaming, if you're talking about a VR headset dedicated to gaming, top that I would go, top would be $600 for brand new technology. Mm-hmm. I think I got my Quest a couple, like 2 years ago, and I bought it for like $300 or something like that. It was, reasonable, right? And the fact that I'm still using that with SideQuest, I'm still playing the games that I want to play on my PC and just using that as the apparatus to see the world that I wish to see. I don't need anything else. And you're going to tell me now that you've given it a paint job and you've made it more functional for, I don't know, watching Peacock? I don't know. Like
they announced the app.
I know. For me, $1,500 is it's a flex in a weird way, but also it's nowhere near. I couldn't put a price on it because that's not for me. But at the same time, it's nowhere near worth that for the things that they're offering. Now, it doesn't have a place in work environments. Probably, yeah, like you said, there's probably plenty of places where you could utilize that. I don't know a single one off the top of my head, though, that I can see justifying that.
Right.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe virtual schools. Who knows? You know, I don't, something like that. But that's it.
Yeah, no, I think the case that Bruno laid out there for, you know, there are real world applications where, and I think even this article from Tom's Guide says, you know, we're billing it as a VR headset, but I think they're really more going for like the AR/VR, you know, augmented reality where, and they made it very clear, like they want to have a headset that you can keep on and, you know, use the pass through, and because the pass through on the lower end Quest headsets, it works. But like there's that slight input delay where it's like you walk forward and then your screen walks forward like just enough of a split second later that your brain is like, oh no, it's barfing time. At least for me.
1 minute I'm playing Tetris, the next I'm replacing my sliding glass window in my living room.
Well, wow, you play Tetris pretty hardcore there, my friend. Okay,
Tetris effect. Yeah,
the Tetris effect. Yeah, I mean when you're really when you're tripping through time on Tetris, fun game. But no, you know,
space whales.
There are some space whales, dolphins too. Yeah. It is an interesting proposition to try and come out with this. I'm not surprised. It does seem like the actual MetaQuest Pro is what stole the show. It was part of the keynote speech that Mark Zuckerberg gave. They did also show off some of the features that they're trying to create around, you know, the whole metaverse thing. And I won't go too much into detail on that. They did unveil a way to basically scan your like torso into their world and then create what they call an instant avatar. They showed it in motion where rather than it be like a 3D model, I mean, it is a 3D model, but it looks real. Like the whole idea is to create a realistic looking avatar they say you have to use a phone app to scan like different parts of your body for like 2 hours. And then hours it takes. And then when it's done, you'll have like a realistic looking avatar that will talk when you talk, essentially making a VTuber of yourself. It's super weird. And the video that they showed off, and remember, this is supposed to be the best representation they can get of this in action. You want to talk about uncanny valley. Like it looks like a real person. You see him talking, but then there's just enough of that virtual jank happening where it feels extremely unsettling. A problem that Mark and the team have had to overcome with the concept of the metaverse of just like how do we make it so that people feel like they're in this world? They did show more of like the next level, the next generation of their avatars that are full body avatars and have better like emotion tracking and like little facial tics that it'll be able to pick up on. I still think we're at a point where the metaverse is just not something that people care about. And aside from, like you had said, Bruno, those limited work interactions, they did show a version of Microsoft Teams on there that they announced for the Quest Pro that will let you join meetings like a virtual lobby. So again, that's going to be reliant on more than one person. If you're the only person in a Microsoft Teams meeting, you got you know the VP of sales calling in from their phone on Teams, which you can still do. You know, and now you're in virtual reality. Like, exactly. Yeah, Bruno, if you're watching right now, Bruno's giving a great representation of what Carl would be looking like when he's trying to give a PowerPoint presentation in VR.
And you must shake my hand to end the meeting. No one's there.
That's right. Fist bump.
So, you know, you really hit the nail on the head there, Nick. And I think that the idea of VR, for Meta and Facebook is to create an experience further down the line, you know, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, where VR headsets are a staple in your, you know, your library of peripherals, right? Yeah. You know, you've got your phone, and then, you know, I know a lot of things now too have, you know, the ability where you can actually take your phone, put it in a, you know, small little, you know, headset and have your own like makeshift VR, right? Mm-hmm. with your smartphone. So, you know, I do see this something down the line where if everyone had it, you're right, then I can see this being implemented in a more organic way. But I think that everyone's thinking of the immediate use, and I think that Facebook or Meta is taking a very long investment approach to this, and I think they're really shifting gears and saying, hey, I think we'd have more success if we did something in the corporate sector where people can meet teams, that kind of thing. I do think it's neat, but if your entire company doesn't have it, then you're just gonna look silly being the only one on Teams with,
exactly.
With googly guys on your Meta Quest. They're like, what's happening, bros?
Amazing. So funny. Yeah, and I guess this is a good segue to head over into the software side of things, because I think that's where, at least as far as our podcast is concerned, a lot of the interesting announcements are. I'll go down the list here. The first one that they showed was Marvel's Iron Man VR, previously a PSVR exclusive. That is now coming for the Meta Quest 2, and was very much regarded as one of the better PSVR experiences. The idea of taking flight and experiencing, that flight feeling, right? Of especially from the perspective of Iron Man. I think that's going to be a fun one. But again, nothing new, just a new platform that you can play it on. Among Us VR is definitely the big one.
Oh yeah, that one looked good.
I mean, and here's the thing, like some people are saying like, oh, this is an example of like how VR is irrelevant as a gaming platform because, it's the same thing as Among Us. And I'm thinking like, no, it isn't. Among Us is normally a top-down game where you can see what's going on as long as like the fog of war lets you. This is going to be first person Among Us. So that person that's like walking past you, you're going to be wondering like, is he going to go for the backstab here? Like, do I need to call a meeting? I think actually this is going to change dynamics. People have done like VR mods of it in unofficial ways. So I think this is a very smart announcement for that studio because, aside from this game, they haven't really put out a whole lot else, very small team. And I think taking the VR route and cementing yourself as being that game. But Bruno, I'm more excited about Donkey getting to bring back Sussy Sundays.
Yeah.
Right before Drama Mondays.
I am ready for more Junkie in my life. I'm ready for more crazy content like that. And you're right. That's what you want to see in a VR experience is something that takes something non-traditional. I thought about, I've seen a couple VR tech demos, right, where they put you in a Mario-esque body and let you kind of run, through World 1 in first person to see what that's like. And I think that those types of things are really unique. The problem becomes, how long can you keep something like that on? Enzo, how long are you willing to keep a headset on and stream? Because that's got to be a lot, right? And you've got glasses just like I do. So that's another barrier that you constantly have to worry about. Do I need glasses? Will they fit over these?
I mean, I've just become like comfortable with the fact that I just smash them into my face. That's there's no way about it. Like it's not perfect, but I fit my glasses over top of it. It does work for the most part. They're not super duper uncomfortable. The longest I've ever kept the VR headset on was about 2 hours for a stream. Now, granted, the problem is the engagement part of it because when I do it through SideQuest, you can't read. I probably, if I had $1 for every time I said, "Where's the camera?" "Oh, you're over there." Because for some reason I'm over here now, and I didn't realize that was what was happening, but that's what happened.
Where's the camera?
I actually have a question. I have to ask you. If you could do one game, first person VR, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I would probably do like Super Mario Odyssey or just like a really like robust 3D platformer.
I would do Mario Kart.
Yeah, you would.
I would do I think a first person or a kart POV of Mario Kart would be awesome. It would also be awesome to to kind of have something that you could raise up and throw, like physically throw at an opponent versus just like launching it,
They had that VR experience that you could do exactly that. I think it was in Japan only. It was in the Mario Kart VR like experience.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but I think a full-fledged VR experience of something like that for Mario needs more camera angles. That's what I say. I want to be I want first person. I want to be able to see little Mario's gloves or Bowser's cuffs. Like, I want to be able to see the hands and.
You're trying to find another excuse to hook your sim rig up to something else, right?
Exactly. That's what I want. I need the sim rig in there. I'm ready for that.
Everyone else has got their little half Joy-Con, and Bruno's in an entire rig. Oh, man.
Suck it, Peach.
That's right. Take that. Oh, man. Amazing stuff. Well, yeah, VR continues to be something that's in the news as Meta continues to go down this rabbit hole with the acquisition of Oculus, and no surprise that more hardware and software has been announced. And no surprise that the best way to stay connected with us at Quit the Build is to visit our website. I'm talking about quitthebuild.com. They got everything you're going to want right over there. They got the blog. They got the merch, okay? You can go over to our community page, okay, and find out who our Patreon supporters are. You can get on that wall. Find out where our social media accounts are. And, of course, if you go over to our network page, you're going to find about all our amazing QTB network content, like the 1 Hour 1 Decision podcast, the Double DQ podcast, even, of course, Kung Fu Penguin, and our newest network streamer right here. Enzo is mad. He's got his own fancy little page and everything. There's pictures, there's bios, there's links, there's graphics. That's all I got.
That works.
Nice. Yeah.
That's all I got. It's done. He's a guy.
Oh,
he's
man.
here. Whatever. Bye.
Okay, bye. No, awesome. Enzo, it's been awesome having you join the QTB network in this streaming capacity. We've really been trying to build that community of, as we say many times in our streams, positivity and just bringing fun back to video games. That is what Quit the Build at its core literally means, is to eliminate toxicity, eliminate negativity when you see it, when you detect it. And the video game industry, I think, needs more streams and more communities like the one that you've been fostering. And
thank you.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you as part of the team, man.
I appreciate that. I have an idea for you, by the way.
Oh, what's that?
You need to make a Quit the Build shirt that's holographic. That is a TV, and the Quit the Build logo is the DVD logo hitting the corner of the TV.
Most people that watch the stream, they just wait for the cue to hit the corner. That's all they care about. That's all they care about.
I gotta make it. I don't know how to make it less likely to hit the corner or more likely.
We need to increase the. Yeah, we need to make them wait for it, right? It's like a 1 in a million chance, right?
Yeah, it's got to have a stop day.
Yeah, did you see episode 173? It finally happened. They were talking about sweet and sour sauce again.
Episode had marked number 30 minutes in. You'll see it. I don't know.
Too funny. Awesome. Well, I think that's all we got for the people. Thank you, as always, everybody, for listening, watching, and being a part of the QTB family of not products. You're not a product. The QTB family of viewers. We're the products.
We're the products.
Awesome. Well, Bruno, get us out of here, man. Do the thing where we say the things.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. It's been great. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. Wait. Do we want this one? Sure.
That's good.
Yeah, we can have this one. For Nick and Enzo, I'm Bruno.
For Bruno and Enzo, I'm Nick.
Oh, for Enzo and Bruno, I'm Nick.
Ship it.
Peace out.
Quit the Build.